Hey, it's Chris of BeerTownAustin. I'm here with Nate from 512 Brewing Company over at Pint. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. So, what are you drinking?
I'm having our Pecan Porter right now.
Good.
It was our sort of our darkest, heaviest beer. It was our first seasonal that ended up kind of becoming our runaway hit and turned it into one of our regular, we call them the Core 4.
Okay.
It became a sort of a regular member of our lineup.
So,
in a dogfish glass. They're great. Drink them.
I've read that you guys are having an anniversary with an anniversary ale.
We are.
Is it not an ale, but a beer? Is it an ale?
Yeah, we have an anniversary ale coming out. It's exactly 2 weeks from today, August 1st of this year. We're going to have a big party at the brewery in the middle of the afternoon and just be pouring free beer, basically. I'm
okay with that.
What's that?
I said I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, and we'll have our anniversary beer. Basically, it'll be sort of the grand unveiling of our anniversary beer. It's going to be sort of a strongish Belgian amber beer. Okay. So we're excited about that. It's something that we've sort of had in the pipeline for a few months down the line now. We've been planning this one for a long time because we knew that we needed to do something kind of special for our first anniversary. So it's been a hell of a year for us. It's been a great time. So we're gonna have a big party at the brewery and have everybody out.
You guys recently expanded, is that right?
We just got a new 80-barrel fermenter brought in, and we're working on getting it installed right now. It's a lot of plumbing work, basically, to get the glycol system working. So we'll hopefully within the next few weeks or so be brewing beer into that. So that effectively nearly doubles our capacity. We've got about 90 barrels of fermentation capacity right now between 3 30-barrel fermenters, and the one we just got is an 80-barrel. So it'll almost double our capacity. It's sort of an investment for the future, We'll hopefully be brewing that much not too far down the line.
That'll free you guys up to do I guess what you call it, the 4 core plus a seasonal?
Yeah, basically. That's kind of been one of the big bottlenecks that we've sort of encountered is brewing 4 core beers, year round, and then also trying to do seasonals. And we really want to do seasonals. It's really important to us to do experimental beers and different things, stuff like that, and kind of keep people interested and keep people sort of on their toes. We're trying to do, trying to come out with beers that surprise people, but also, people also really like, I guess, on top of that, in addition to the beers we normally do. Thanks. Yeah. The alt beer was, I was super happy with that, and that was pretty successful. As I was saying before, the Pecan Porter was originally a seasonal. We started out with 3 beers. Initially, it was a Pale Ale, an IPA, and the Wit, and brought on the Pecan Porter as our fall seasonal for fall into winter seasonal for 2008. And it's funny, when we were first sort of planning that beer in September of 2008. We had initially intended it to just be a seasonal. It'd be like a 1 or 2 off beer. We figured we'd do maybe 2 batches of it, and that'd last us until about the beginning of February, and then we'd think about doing something else for a seasonal. And lo and behold, by Christmas time or so, near the end of December, we had brewed 6 batches of that beer, and demand was just like going through the roof. And it at the time, it was our best-selling beer. And it still hovers pretty close to that now, even in the middle of July in Texas. It comes pretty close to be the best-selling beer most of the time now. So that one was a huge surprise for us, and we just after a couple months down the line, we just decided that it would be ridiculous for us to stop brewing that beer, and so we'll keep on making it pretty much indefinitely. Yeah, so that's we want to do that. We want to do new beers and bring out new things and experiment and stuff like that. But that's been sort of the big bottleneck for us is doing those 4 beers plus a 5th beer all the time on 3 fermenters, and it keeps us at capacity pretty much all the time. So that'll definitely sort of free us up to do that, having an extra fermenter, to keep that going.
I visited the brewery before, and I had a pale ale that was shot through
the Hopalope.
Like a bazooka of hops. Is there a future for that? Or is that just like a
yeah, I think so. You know, we just did that as kind of like a little quirky thing to entertain ourselves, because we thought it was a cool idea. You know, we just want to we want to experiment with little ideas like that anytime we can. But that just initially ended up as I've got to give credit where it's due, and part of the inspiration and sort of the background of that comes from Dogfish Head and their Randall.
Oh, yeah.
Which if there's anybody that's not familiar with what the Randall is, it's basically a water filter that's got 2 spouts at the top, and pack the whole thing full of hops, and it's got a tube on the inside, so it basically pumps beer in one end through the bed of hops and then up out the top. And so the whole idea is basically dry hopping the beer on the way from the keg into your glass.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. The Randall was an incredible idea, and it's one of many incredible ideas that Dogfish Head has had over the years. But we found some ways that we thought that we could maybe tweak the design of their contraption and make it work a little bit better for us. And so that's what we ended up coming up with. We ended up just getting basically it's sort of a long bullet that has a mesh sort of filter tube inside of it. We packed that whole thing full of hops, and then basically run beer in through one end and out the other end. And so basically the idea is every drop of beer that goes through it comes in one end and gets run through the entire mass of hops and comes out the other end. Whereas, you know, with some earlier designs, it's, you know, there was some potential for sort of bypassing some of those hops. But we hooked that up, put a tap handle on the front of it, and we thought it looked a little bit like a deer or an antelope with the tap handle on the front of it, so we dubbed it the Hopalope. And we break it out for special occasions. You know, it's not something that we've done at any bars or anything like that yet, but it's something we break out for special occasions at the brewery, and we hope that, you know, eventually we'll probably start having Hopalope nights at different breweries around town, and set that up and stuff like that. It's, you know, that's probably in our future at some point, but yeah, that's fun.
And it's delicious.
Thanks.
I guess tell me a little bit about what you do at the brewery.
About what I do at the brewery?
Yeah.
I'm brewer at the brewery, so I make the beer, and I also, there are only 3 of us that work in the place overall, so we all sort of split duties among the 3 of us. It's brewing the beer, a little bit of delivering when our delivery driver is off, washing kegs, you know, filling kegs, just basically everything from you know, I'm involved in initial conception through making the beer, through packaging the beer, and sending it out into the you know, the different places around town. So a little bit of everything, I guess.
Okay.
whatever it takes to get the job done, I guess. You need to think about Kevin? Or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Kevin Brand's the owner and the founder of 512, and was like me, was a home brewer for many years, and basically came up with the initial recipes. He has a background in mechanical engineering, but had been a home brewer for years and years, so he's kind of got that real sort of technical, clinical sort of mindset, you know, processes and machines and whatnot and that kind of thing, and then the home brewing sort of creative side. He came up with the idea of 512 Brewery sometime in the summer of 2007. Basically started putting things together, built the brewery basically himself from the ground up over the course of, you know, summer 2007 through about summer of 2008. And that's about when I came on. In June of 2008 is when I came on and started working with him, and we started cranking out beer. And he's really, you know, he's I think really he deserves a lot of credit for having come up with a good thing. You know, he really was able to sort of tap into something that Austin needed and was ready to have, which is another really creative microbrewery.